Alright guys, welcome back to more Tsukihime. Here we go.
おやおや、こんな時でも妹さんを立てるとは感心です。家ではさぞ頼りにされているお兄さんと見ました。
あ、いえ、それは
Although I don't think that's how Akia would describe our relationship.
そのあたりの事実関係は今後の調査ですね。下級使徒の遺体が出てこないのは気になりますが、思い返してみればデパート地下の件がありました。グローブが暴れたことで下級使徒の大部分は瓦礫に埋もれたのでしょう。繰り返しますが、遠野くんがロアのはずがないんです。今日だって普通に学校に来ていたでしょ。ロアは使徒なんですから太陽の下には出歩けません。
あ、
That's a good point.
じゃあノエル先生の考えはただの的外れってこと？
でしょうね。まったく早とちりにも程があります。遠野くんは遠野くんです。ちょっと特別な目があるだけの危なっかしくて放っておけない男の子ですよ。
And a talent for, killing vampires. As she flashes me her usual smile, I realize just how badly I wanted to hear those words. A great unease lifts from my shoulders. Just as I finally catch my breath, my anemia returns. Today's barrage of surprises numbed me to my exhaustion, but it seems I can't ignore it any longer.
あとはこの遺体の処理ですね。焼却処理しますから、遠野くんは離れていてください。
I do as CL says. As soon as I'm safely back in the sewer passage, CL sets Roa's corpse aflame. In a way, it's sort of anticlimactic. The vampire who haunted this city for years met his end in a dark corner of the sewers, unbeknownst to any of the people he preyed upon. Of course, Roa is far from truly dead, as his reincarnation makes him effectively immortal. The shadow over Soya, however, has passed. At long last, the vampire murders are at an end. The moon shines bright overhead. Ciel doesn't say a word on our way back to the surface. As I stare at the back of her head, my thoughts drift to what must come next. Roa is gone. My partnership with Arkwade is over. Roa was the only reason she and Ciel were here. Now that he's out of the picture, Ciel has no reason to remain. Well, he's not out of the picture yet. I grind my teeth in frustration. I made my peace with the fact that we would have to part. Only I never imagined the moment would come so soon. I don't want Ciel to go, but there's nothing I can do to make her stay. I steal a glance at her face. I can't help but wonder, what is it she plans to do next?
遠野くん。
Out of nowhere, Ciel stops.
何ですか、先輩。
I brace myself for the words I already know are coming, so my voice won't crack when I say goodbye.
いえ、ただの市場なのですが、昼間の話の続きをしていいですか？
She must be referring to our conversation about her immortality.
全然いいですけど、先輩の体がアルクエイドみたいってことですか？
Ciel nods, her gaze fixed firmly forward. A tense silence stretches between us. Finally, Ciel takes a deep breath and breaks it.
もしもの話ですよ。遠野くんは違うと言いましたけど、私が本当に吸血鬼だったらどうしますか？
I'm friends with a vampire, so... I mean, it's no different, right? My mind goes blank for a moment. I don't understand what she's trying to say.
私は彼女と同じなんです。彼女が経験のない吸血鬼であるように、私は自覚のない吸血鬼なのかもしれない。
She sounds more like she's talking to herself than to me. I don't know what to say. I'm not qualified to offer her comfort, nor to argue her point. But what I do know is that she's laying her greatest vulnerability at my feet. So a lie or a half-truth won't cut it. I just have to tell her my honest feelings.
いいです、そんなの。だからいいって言ったんです。たとえ吸血鬼でも俺は先輩が好きだよ。
See how jumps like she had cold water poured down her back. She wheels around to face me.
そうですか。吸血鬼に例えたのは別の意図だったのですが、私を信じられるかどうかといった。事件も解決しましたし、遠野くんの記憶を消すかどうか決めなくてはいけないので。
あ、そうですよね。そういう話ですよね。もちろん信じます。っていうか先輩の秘密はちゃんと守ります。
Seal's cheeks flush red, but I feel my own face burning even brighter. How am I so bad reading between the lines?
とにかく俺にとってシエル先輩は何があってもシエル先輩ってことです。それより早く帰りましょう。ここ寒いですか？
In trying to change the subject, I end up blundering headfirst into the very topic I've been trying to avoid. We should head home. What does home mean to Ciel now? My brain freezes. I stare at the ground, terrified to look Ciel in the eye.
遠野くん。
Her voice rings clear through the frigid air. Its colorless tone tells me that there's no avoiding what comes next.
何？
I keep my eyes firmly lowered.
私が何のためにこの町に来たか知っていますよね。
もちろんロアを退治するためです。
ええ。けどその理由までは話していませんでした。本当は今夜2人で町に出た時にお話ししようと思ってたんですけど、なんかあっけなく終わっちゃいましたね。
そうですね。拍子抜けするぐらいあっけなく終わりました。
Then again, this moment was always coming. Fate conspired to bring it about sooner than I expected, but it was only ever a matter of time.
けど先輩がロアを追っていたのは教会の仕事だったからでしょう。理由なんて他にあるんですか？
ええ。私の所属しているチームはなんていうかあんまり仕事がないんです。あっても年に数回ちょっと呼び出される程度で。ですから今回の件は私の独断なんです。私は教会の指示ではなく自分の意思でこの町にやってきました。
先輩の意思？
はい。私は自分の事情だけで行動していました。私は人間として死にたいからずっとロアを追っていたんです。私の体がこんなになってしまったのは彼に原因がありましたから。
She wants to die. She wants to die?
それだけのために私はこうして生きながらえてきました。けどそれも終わりです。代行者になってから6年間、長かったのか短かったのかよくは分かりませんけど。
The colorless voice falls silent. A slender hand comes into view.
顔を上げてください。最後は笑顔で。 と言ったのは遠野くんの方ですよ。
Tia weaves her fingers through mine. Her face lights up with the same brilliant smile that's given me courage time and time again.
遠野くんには感謝しています。私の仕事はこれでおしまいです。あとは残った自分の責任を果たさなくちゃいけません。
先輩、やっぱり。
You're really leaving?
記憶を消そうと思ったけどやめます。遠野くんには嫌われたくありませんから。今までありがとうございました。私こんなに嬉しかったの久しぶりです。ですから最後に握手しましょう。
Ah, so that's why she took my hand. I finally answer her grip, squeezing back tightly. With so many emotions swirling through my chest, I can't do anything else in the moment. The only thing I can give back to her is the simple gesture.
それではお別れです。ですね。私がいなくなっても乾くんと仲良くしてくださいね。私遠野くんと乾くんみたいな学生になりたかった。あとですね、あんまりメガネを外しちゃダメですよ。得意なものは得意なものを引き寄せるんです。今回は解決しましたけど次はどうなるかわからないんですから。
はい、それは知ってます。昔厳しく教えてくれた人がいましたから。そもそもですね、俺がメガネを外したのはここ最近の話ですよ。
そうですか。それを聞いて安心しました。
Tail's fingers withdraw from mine. Our handshake undone, we both take a few steps back. She already feels so far beyond my reach.
先輩、また会えますか？俺たち。
The question swells within me until I can't hold it any longer.
もちろん縁があればきっと。だって私も遠野くんもまだ生きているんですから。
Yeah, maybe she's right. As long as we're alive, there will always be hope. The fact that we even met at all is proof of that.
もうちょっとだけお話がしたかったけどキリがないからここまでにします。遠野くんにはこんなのばっかりですね。
With an embarrassed smile, Ciel turns her back to me.
それじゃあさようなら。帰り道迷わないように気をつけて。
I can't say anything back. I can't stop her from walking away. Just like that, the girl I've been chasing after vanishes into the night. The emptiness in my chest is the only proof she was even real.
そっか。今になってようやくわかった。
But my heart is at peace. I feel none of the depression or self-loathing that plagued me yesterday. Part of me knew from the start that Ciel and I could never be together. That we live in different worlds, different times. All lives diverge sooner or later. It wasn't the thought of the parting itself that hurt so much, but doing so without a proper farewell. But this time, it's not like that. This time, we've said goodbye with a smile. So now, I can let her go with no regrets. Or so I have to believe.
戻ろう。いつまでもここにはいられない。
I silence my wayward thoughts and set off. Soya's long night has come to a close. Now it's time to leave these memories behind me and return to my normal life. I arrived safely back at the mansion, It's already after 9 p.m. Over an hour past curfew.
お帰りなさいませ、四季さん。お疲れでなければ何よりです。今日は幾分遅いお帰りになりましたが、お体の具合はいかがですか？
Kohaku greets me in the lobby. She must have been waiting here for a while now, watching the front gate for my return.
ただいま琥珀さん。それとごめん。ちょっと使用で遅くなっただけで、具合を悪くしたとかじゃないんです。
いえ、無事に帰ってきていただけたのならいいんです。ご夕飯でしたらすぐにご用意いたしますので、今の方でお待ちいただければ。
あ、今には秋葉はいる。
I'm used to breaking curfew at this point, but I'm not sure I can face Akia while Miss Noel's words still weigh on my mind.
いえいえ、秋葉様でしたらお部屋の方に戻られていますので、どうかご安心くださいな。お小言は明日の朝にまで持ち越しということで。
Kohaku's so good. She's so good and so cool.
いや、そういうわけじゃないんだけど。あのさ、琥珀さん。この家に俺と秋葉以外の兄弟がいたって話聞いたことがある。
四季さんと秋葉様以外のご子息様ですか？そういった話はないと思いますよ。どうした？
いや、ただ俺に兄貴がいたかもしれないってそんな話を聞いてさ、ちょっと記憶に自信がなくて。
四季さんと秋葉様は二人きりの兄弟ですよ。幼い頃からお屋敷で働いている私が言うんですから、間違いはありません。
Unless you're keeping it a secret. Kohaku beams with pride. I guess she would know, especially if she's been working here since.
琥珀さん、昔からここで働いてたんですか？
はい、見習いとしてですが、翡翠ちゃんと一緒に簡単なお手伝いをさせていただいておりました。何分昔のお話ですから、四季さんが覚えていらっしゃらないのは当然だと思います。
いや、でも会っているなら少しは覚えているべきですけど。
I can't believe I forget something like that.
それは仕方のないことです。昔の遠野邸はご来賓の方も多かったですし、何より子供の頃の話ですから。今ですらこんな大きなお屋敷なんですよ。子供の視点では果てのない迷路のように思えたものです。この本館だけでも覚えきれなかったのに、今はもう取り壊されたテニスコート横の迎賓館や植物園、離れのお屋敷もありました。ご親戚の方々も滞在していましたし、あの頃誰がどこにいたのかを把握していたのは、それこそご当主であらせられた牧久様だけかと存じます。
そうですね。言われてみれば確かに。
I do remember being warned at great length that for my own safety, I was never to enter the second floor of the guest house unsupervised. In a mansion this large, two people could conceivably live out their entire childhoods without ever seeing each other.
そうですとも。秋葉様がお忙しいので今はお暇を出されていますが、乗馬用の馬屋もあったんですから。あの頃のお庭は毎日がお祭りのようで大変楽しゅうございました。
What a wistful smile, Kohaku departs for the kitchen.
俺より年上で何年も前に死んだ養子か。
No, Kohaku's right. There's no point in dwelling on this. Perhaps there really was someone in this mansion who Roa chose as his host. Someone who really was transformed into a vampire and fled the mansion to live in the city's underbelly. But tracking them won't change the past.
秋葉が知らないなら無理に伝える必要はないよな。もう終わったことなんだから。
With that, I head to the parlor. I'm not particularly hungry, but I shouldn't skip meals. I need all the energy I can get right now. After finishing dinner and taking a bath, I collapsed into bed. I draw the covers over myself and stare vacantly at the ceiling. Where once I felt a sense of foreboding at the prospect of sleep, I now feel only release. Or perhaps that's just another word for emptiness. It's over. All I have to show for my adventures are memories and scars. Tomorrow, I'll go back to being an ordinary high schooler. I've done enough fighting, enough killing. It's time to forget. I'll forget everything, and when I wake up tomorrow, I shake away the memory encroaching on my mind. Ciel's long gone. Not that I could have asked her to stay on my own selfish account.
くそ。そんなわけなかったんだ。
I have a better question. Why was that image popping up in his head? He didn't see her when she was atop the building. I always knew Ciel and I lived in different worlds. That's why I accepted that our parting was for the best. I wanted to show her that I understood for the fear that she might resent me otherwise. But now I'm living with the consequences. That bluster about saying goodbye with a smile was no more than a mask for my feelings. I couldn't forget our time together if I tried. If I'd known it would hurt so much, maybe I should have asked her to erase my memories after all.
バカか。俺は。
I quashed the thought before I can finish it. It's too late for this. I need to go to sleep. Acceptance will set in by tomorrow, I'm sure. That's how it always goes. The darkness of sleep will wash away my worries, and when I resurface, if I resurface, I'll greet the morning anew. Clinging to that hope, I surrender my body and mind to my exhaustion. Let's hope we don't wake up in the middle of the night again and start reading. Where there once was a public park, now only a sea of rubble remains. Through the investigation to the mysterious gas explosion that birthed it was shelled within a day, the area remains sealed off by the police. The crater is as desolate and silent as the grave. And it is to the blasted wasteland that Sister Noelle has fled in agony and desperation. With her paralyzed leg unable to offer support, she descends the debris on hands and knees. Her face is smeared with filth, her habit is torn to shreds, her wounded shoulder is black with necrosis. It would be hard to imagine a more pitiful sight. Someone in the know might think her a lesser dead apostle, or even one of the shambling dead. No one would believe that she was, until mere hours ago, an executor. Her leg catches on a mound of debris, sending her tumbling down the slope like a discarded bag of garbage. Is this girl transforming? She stifles the scream that wants to tear through her throat. Although no one is chasing her now, silence is still imperative. She's fleeing from many things. From her mentor and fellow executor. From the insufferable superior who demanded she deliver her report in person. And most of all, from a burning thirst that only blood can slake. I was gonna say shake, slake. Oh my god, she is turning.
治療なんて受けられるわけないじゃない。
The agony in her shoulder is enough to make her weep. Ordinarily, she would visit the church's local headquarters for treatment, but that's no longer an option. Submitting to a medical inspection in her current condition would be tantamount to suicide. Yeah, why the hell didn't she or anyone take her immediately to a doctor or something after she got bit by Vlav in the first place? Between her putrefying arm and her burning throat, her sanity is under assault from two fronts. Anyone else would think only of trying to weather the storm, but not her. In this, her darkest hour, her thoughts are filled with nothing but hate.
何あれ 何よあれ。何なのよ。
She pounds her left fist, her only functional limb, into the ground. But a surge of bitterness she reflects on the battle she just lost. It was over almost before it began. She knew she had no chance of winning a fair fight. Her only hope was the element of surprise. So she would draw her enemy's attention with a feint, creating an opening to kill the young man behind her. It was the perfect plan. But her perfect plan never stood a chance. Then how about this? She threw her first 3 black keys with all she had, only for them to be deflected. That much she expected, though she had secretly hoped that one might find its mark. But then she was bested before her masterstroke ever left her hand. In that moment, she knew despair. Her mind flooded with masochistic self-loathing. I never even saw her move. How am I supposed to fight that? I always knew I was weaker, but I worked all 6 years to catch up, and I was so sure I had. How? How has she widened that gap even more than before? I'm not even a worm beneath her boot. On your feet, Sister Noelle. She called her sister then, not executor, not disciple, but sister, as if to say her other titles no longer applied. Well, so be it. She knows full well that she has strayed from the right path. This day was gonna come, with or without Shikitono. And yet...
悔しい。悔しい。悔しい。悔しい。
She howls her resentment to the night. How dare she look so weak? How dare she act so vulnerable? How dare she bare her heart? How dare she show humanity so underhanded and unforgivable betrayal? How dare she? For 6 years, Noah kept her resentment in check. For 6 years, she repressed her envy of Ciel's genius, comforted that her partner was bound by chains no amount of talent can break. But then how is she to explain what just transpired? Her thirst for vengeance was quelled by one thought alone. Ciel is no longer a human being, but a hero. But what if that were proven false? What if Ciel's inhumanity was only a facade? What if, in her heart of hearts, she sought happiness like anybody else? Then there could be no greater betrayal. Ciel must atone. That much she owes to Noelle. She must pay the price for ruining everything. Does she think she can sneer at that obligation from behind her mask? Only on account of her freakish strength was she allowed back into the fold. Only because of her inhumanity were her sins forgiven. A mere human would be granted no such clemency. Sin demands punishment. Evil demands retribution. Cruelty demands cruelty in return. If Ciel were human, her crimes would cry for answer.
なのに何もできない。強いからって幸せになるの？私は弱いからこのまま死ねっていうの？悔しい。私があいつよりもっと強かったら。
Strong enough to deliver God's punishment. Strong enough to show that Iron Maiden, that mindless killing machine, her place. She claws mindlessly at the rubble, tearing out her nails, wearing her fingertips down to bloody nubs. Ah.
神様。
I beseech you, grant me salvation, and rain down upon her just retribution. The fallen executor goes on spewing vile curses in her hysteria. She has long forgotten the core tenet of prayer, that above all else, one offers them not to seek worldly benefit, never mind personal profit.
でもそれが大変いいのです。私、その祈りだけで十分おかずにできちゃいそう。
Noah spins around to face the source of the voice, oblivious to the trap that has just snapped shut.
こんばんは。こんなところに隠れ家を作ってるなんていけない子ね。ま、そのあたりはどうでもいいけど。なに？ノエルちゃんは強くなれればそれでいいの？
Oh, really? I know the doctor was kind of a sketchy character to begin with, but I was kind of hoping she'd be on the good side, you know? Noah struggles to comprehend what is happening. She's been camping out in this crater to avoid being found by Mario. But not even Ciel knows of her hiding place, so how did this strange woman track her down?
来ないで。誰よ、あなた。私は通りすがりの善人よ。ノエルちゃんにちなんでスクルージとか名乗ってもいいんだけど、私キャロルはなんか嫌いなのだわ。だってあれ、強者が弱者になっちゃう話じゃない？愛が足りないんだってば、愛が。その点私はラブ大サービス。弱者を強者にするのがライフワークなの。どう？今なら底辺で出会った記念にあなたを強くしてあげるけど。
Noelle laughs at the absurdity of it all. This bizarre stranger is so nonsensical, so farcical, that she can't even bring herself to be afraid.
ふざけないでよ。何も知らないくせに何気軽に歌ってるのよ。強くなれるのならとっくになってる。私みたいな凡人じゃあの天才には何をやったってかなわない。
Rage and frustration spill from her lips. Emotion she has repressed for 6 years. No, 13 years now.
何をやったって？今そう言ったのかしら、お嬢さん。
It is as though a switch has been flicked. High-heeled shoes click sharply against stone as the white-coated figure approaches.
あなたはまだ何もしていない。
I don't like that look. It is creepy.
ただ生きてきただけ。強くなる努力も工夫も対価も愛も何一つ支払っていない。
Spindly fingers brush Noelle's lips. A pale hand lifts her mud-smeared chin.
でもまだ間に合うわ。ねえ、かわいいお嬢さん。強くなれるのなら本当に何をしてもいいのかしら。
A newfound spark of resolve is lit within her. Ignoring her creeping dread, she nods in agreement. And her fate is sealed.
でもどうやって？そんなの簡単よ。私があなたを本物の吸血鬼にしてあげる。
Oh, no, don't. She's a vampire or is she gonna inject something in her?
待って、何言ってるの？吸血鬼にするって。それより本物って。そう。ノエルちゃんたら血を吸われたから使徒化してると思ってるけど、それただの勘違いだから。
That was not a little bite.
あなたには使徒になる才能すらない。本当の凡人であることをまだ受け入れてなかったのね。
I guess that's a good thing in and of itself then. Then why the hell was she having a thirst for blood then?
でも安心して。私の方法ならどんな人間も、それこそ虫けらだって吸血鬼にしてあげられるわ。
Tell her no, Noelle.
待って。
Oh wait, it's too late. She said yes.
私、汚染されてないの。だって喉が渇いて、こんなに苦しいのに。ああ、それ、ただの思い込み。あとちょっと風邪気味なだけなんじゃない？
All in your head? As Noelle tries to scramble away, a weight gently settles on her back. She looks around to find her body entangled in sticky white threads. Something horrifying is on top of her, straddling her, running its glistening tongue over her lips, like a colossal, hideous spider toying with a fly. Oh, she's like a... Oh, God, she's a spider?
さあ行ってみましょうか。かわいい虫けらさん。
Her humanity?
いやー、臨床実験は私も初めてだからドキドキして思わず食べちゃいそう。
Oh, I don't like this. I don't even like her joking like that.
やめ、お願い、やめて。やだ、吸血鬼になるのだけは死んでもいいや。
Don't you have any more black keys to use on her? Oh no. In a few short minutes, the pain of rebirth subsides. Was she injected or was she bit? While her flesh has been entirely transformed, her mind remains intact. Her human sensory functions, cognition, and worldview are now being updated in real time to match her new physiology. Her voice swells with equal parts joy and agony. She once swore that she would never become a vampire. That vow remains unbroken. For even now, seeking revenge on vampires remains her reason d'etre. But within minutes, that too will fade. As the ecstasy of immortality courses through her, her human obsessions will come to seem petty and small.
ほら、なってしまえば楽でしょ。そういう姿になったのは予想外だけど、そっか。ノエルちゃんはその頃が一番ノリノリだったってこと？
そうよ。文句ある？これが私。この姿が私。こうなりたかったのが私。
That's an entirely new voice.
すごく上出来。気に入ったわ、この姿。ありがとうって言ってあげる。
お礼は結構事前事業だもの。でもそれだけじゃあの大公社には勝てないわよ。むしろカモになった感じ？
そんなの言われなくても分かっているわ。今の私なら黒剣一本で始末されると。
もちろん追加の注射をしなくちゃね。
それはさっきの注射と違うの？
Ah, so it was an injection.
同じものよ。これ一本一本がイデアのレプリカ。一本ごとに使徒の海底を上げる私特製の麻薬ってわけ。ただし一本ごとに死の痛みが魂に降りかかっちゃう。痛覚のない人にとって原理の書き換えは死の痛みだもの。命の保証はできないってのが泣きどころかしらね。
The creature in the lab coat brandishes 6 syringes. Noah senses innately that she is currently equal to a rank 2 dead apostle. At rank 4, dead apostle is capable of overpowering a typical executor, while at rank 5, dead apostle bears a curse potent enough to defeat them by the score. If so, then after 2 or 3 more injections, she will have nothing left to fear. So, the equivalent of steroids, huh? Should she take them all? She would ascend to the 8th rank, putting her on the verge of ancestorhood. Even a true ancestor would fear her. But each dose would drag her to death and back. And by the dead apostle's awareness, she can tell that her soul is not resilient enough to withstand them all.
一本で1回転。
ええ、それは保証してあげる。さあ、あなたは何本まで試すのかしら。
An obscene smile dares the newborn dead apostle to take the plunge. She hesitates for a moment, then snatches all 6 syringes from her benefactor's hand, and face contorted with fear, drives one into her heart. synthetic principle, idea mosaic, courses through her veins. Agony far worse than her previous transformation rends her flesh, accompanied by a visceral revulsion, as though she were being rejected by the earth and everything upon it. Oh, she sacrificed her humanity for this nonsense. One would think the capacity for pain is all that was left of her. A series of alterations are attempted, rejected, and revised in this nightmarish caricature of an experiment. Grotesque death and gruesome rebirth alternate in the span of seconds. Agony racks her crimson body, stripping her even of the ability to call for help. No moon shines down from above. No stars gleam in the sky. This is hell on earth, an inescapable 8-legged cage. And so her cries go unheard, swallowed by the darkness until she has become a true vampire in body and soul. Oh, goodbye, Noelle. It was nice knowing you. As a human. As a nun and I guess a competent teacher. Epilogue. I like how that was crossed out. Hot summer day. Huge fluffy clouds cover the blue sky. The air shimmers with heat, and the keening of cicadas eats at me. The cries of the cicadas. Screech, screech, screech. It's so loud I wish I was dead. Cicada husks are scattered around. It feels as if the beating sun is right on top of us. Burning, sizzling, scorching the clearing. A hot midsummer day. It's as if the world has warped into one massive frying pan. Akia is crying. A child is on the ground next to her. He lies deathly still, his white shirt stained a deep red. I gaze down at them. My hands drip with the same shade of red. No, that's not right. My hands are soaked in his blood. That's what it is. In other words, I've always been a murderer, ever since I was a child. I see a sunless garden, a field of flowers blooming by the pale moonlight. High above, a porcelain visage blots out the cosmos. At the convergence of the sphere stands a creature of virgin white. Her mind untouched by language, her own will a stranger, her only purpose the deliverance of death. Drenched in blood, yet not a scratch upon her, for it is her kin's lifeblood that stains her dress crimson. To spill it is her only freedom. Now that her work is done, she has fallen like a star back to earth, to be sealed again within the castle's heart. Arc-waved with long hair. There she will fall into sleep from which she may be woken but cannot wake. But for now, ignorant of that fate, she gazes with her faraway eyes at the distant moon. In her countenance, I saw eternity. Or did I? Did I really? Perhaps I simply imagined it. Not that it matters. Truth or illusion, it is the same. Her figure will remain seared into my eyeballs long after I'm dead. A phantom flower, a mote of living starlight unparalleled on this earth. I thought to pluck that star for my own. Death cannot part a bride and groom equal in immortality. So I would forge a wedding band in blood, an unending chain of fate to transcend the carnage we would wreak on one another. I knew full well that I condemned myself to hell, for in accepting this closed circle, I forsook my dream of infinity. Quite the interesting dream. I wake from a long slumber. As soon as I realize that I'm in my room, I put my glasses back on. Someone must have left the window open. I can hear the chirping of birds from the garden outside. A cool breeze brushes my cheek. Faint sunlight filters through my eyelids. It's another peaceful morning. Heaving myself out of bed, I glance at the date and time. It's Friday, 7 in the morning. I'm feeling far from my best. My body's lethargic, feverish. Yesterday's tumultuous series of events is taking its toll.